Hello, everybody, and welcome to Way Woman, the show that's about real women and the issues that matter to us. I'm your host, Stacey Lewis, and I'm with my co-hosts here today, Natasha, Christina, and Charlotte. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Charlotte Laws. One of the things that we do great here is conversation starters. Let's go. This show is about technology. Is it invading our privacy? Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. Natasha, oh my gosh. What do you think?
Well, you know, the thing that I really love about Facebook and all that is it does invade your privacy and it does cause problems. But the best thing is when you see one of your exes who looks a mess and you get to post your pictures up of how good you look.
And you look fine.
Yes.
I know,
take
that's
pictures.
right. You know, I was on Facebook the other day, and that actually happened. I saw a gentleman that I used to date, and he... Well, anyway,
Yeah.
Well, they say
it speaks to what you're saying.
statistically, they say 60% of people stalk their ex on Facebook.
Like
So
true stalkers?
Well, you know,
Well,
like
like
always
exes.
check up and, you know,
But
like.
did you guys hear the story that it was on the news that basically what was happening, divorce lawyers are starting
Yes.
to use Facebook and Twitter and all the social medias out there to try to creep up on the information from
And
their
as a
other
matter of fact, employers, we look at Facebook
Right.
as well. One, we see if our employees are on Facebook during, you know, the 9 to 5 hour, as well as, you know, things that people post on there. So again, is it invading your privacy? I mean, can you go on Facebook and find out
Well,
anything?
it's common sense. You should not post pictures of you drunk in
Okay.
Mexico.
You used the term common sense. That in and of itself is a whole show.
Not everybody has common sense. I mean, a lot
That's
of this
for real.
generation don't. What may be common sense to us, let's just say, may not be common sense to the younger generation, the
Well,
generation
I mean,
liars.
things
Old
have changed a
women do
lot,
that.
and you know, there was even that story
Mm-hmm.
recently about wanting in LA unified schools for the kids to use their fingerprint to
Right.
get their lunch.
Exactly.
Which to me is
Oh, that's
a
going
big
too far.
concern because you know it's something very small, getting a lunch, and yet you know you're losing a lot of privacy with that, and I think it could get out of control and
Well,
it could get into law enforcement's
you know-
hands, and you'd have fingerprints for everybody in a public school,
just
but. The private school
turning
kids,
it up.
they wouldn't have fingerprints for, so you'd have.
Facebook.
I know, but I'm
She's
just
talking
saying-
about invasion of privacy.
Ben out of
That's
it,
Dr.
Ben.
Charlotte Laws.
Exactly.
Leave her alone. She can talk about Facebook and fingerprints if she wants.
No, what she's saying, I get what she's saying. She's saying this
Privacy,
is one issue
Right.
of privacy where it's
Yeah.
just going too far.
See, because it's things like Facebook that started, and then all these other areas, they think, oh,
Right.
it's no big deal anymore. Everybody's got their information everywhere, so now we'll start using it in other aspects of our lives.
An interesting story about Facebook. There was a young man at my job, and he had a bad experience with our company. So what did he do? He went on Facebook and he badmouthed it, like the executives. And I mean, you're talking about common sense. Now, needless to say, he no longer works there.
Right.
But you know, just that whole piece of you think that it's private, and everybody looks on Facebook.
People should be also getting Google alerts on
That's
themselves,
one of
too.
the,
Exactly.
That's one of the
regularly.
problems too with the military, because when we go places and we're stationed in theater, you know, in a danger zone, and people will be getting on their Facebook and their Twitter talking about what's going on, and that'll get everybody in
Right.
trouble because you know whoever can look at that. So that is one of the big things that I do worry about with Facebook, and that's because I've seen that.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Twitter, because I'm still trying to understand Twitter. I mean, people are in the movie theaters. You have celebrities saying, "I'm just left the Starbucks." Do you think that that could bring a stalker on? You know,
Well, I don't
Kim
think you should
Kardashian
ever,
just left
you
the
should-
Starbucks. Let's follow
You
her.
should never tell people if you're going out of town.
Okay.
Never tell them when there's nobody
Right.
going to be at home because they'll rob your house. And that actually has happened on
Right.
various occasions. Twitter to me is kind of absurd unless
Yeah.
you're a celebrity.
What's the fascination
If you're a
with it?
celebrity, I can see saying, you know, I
Right.
just left Starbucks or
But
whatever.
even then, you should be careful. You don't want the paparazzi just hounding you, jumping out of the bushes.
Hilton and them's house got robbed by those girls.
Yeah, but
You
you
ended
know,
up getting a reality show.
Yep,
Because
exactly.
they found out on Twitter that they were gone? Is that what happened, Natasha?
Yeah. they robbed their
That's
houses.
happened on many
Wow,
occasions.
so I guess it is a true invasion of privacy.
You got to be really careful.
Okay,
Exactly.
so-
Because you only have a
Scary.
limited number of characters on Twitter. That's why I hate it. So you can't say much of anything.
140.
Which is why
Yeah.
only if you're a famous person and you're trying to get more publicity that you might want to just say like a very short sentence periodically, and all your
But let me
fans will
just-
get all excited.
But
Other
let me
than
just
that,
interject. It's also just your followers. It's not like
right.
you know, anyone, you can just say, oh, I'm going to Starbucks and Joe
But it
Schmo
does-
down the street.
But it does show up on Google though too.
Yeah.
Right.
You will have it show up there.
Okay, so the more followers you have, the more popular you are.
Right.
That means that's the more people that invade your privacy.
Right.
Exactly.
So if you have 2 followers, you're okay. I'm
Well,
just-
well, how do they are? I mean, you got Charles Manson following you. I don't know. I mean,
Can't get out.
that's true.
for our viewing audience, if you'd like to join this conversation on who should follow you or who should not, please log on to our website at everywaywoman.com. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to a media and social media, and marketing expert, Ms. Stevie Wilson. Stay tuned. That is hilarious.